and this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. I mean, they basically pushed us and said, you know, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that.
Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. I mean, basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Well, there's a bunch of problems with that, right? There's the emergency use authorization that they needed in order to get this pushed through, and you can't have that without valid valid therapeutics being available, and so they suppressed valid therapeutics. So they're suppressing real information that would lead to people being healthy and successful in defeating this disease. And they did that so that they could have this one solution.
That was Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Meta and Facebook, Joe Rogan, talking about how the Biden White House attacked and censored free speech on Facebook. Meta's CEO and Joe Rogan slamming vaccine mandates, and it turns out they were saying that the censorship by Biden's team and Democrats was worse than realized. Let's welcome to the show internist and cardiologist Dr. Peter McCullough and journalist Batya Ungar-Sargon. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate you both. Doctor, let's please start with you. So Mark Zuckerberg says the Biden team censored not just COVID vaccines, but also the masks, and that they demanded they take down information about side effects. Do you think that put people in harm's way?
You know, the weaponization of the term misinformation as a propaganda tool harmed the world greatly. Early on, people were seeking information on how to protect themselves on early multi-drug treatment protocols. Later on, it was about vaccine side effects. But Zuckerberg and Meta, you know, at the behest of the Biden administration, hurt people greatly. They stripped away not only freedom of speech, but our freedom to get information and seek the opinions of others.
Batya, what do you make of this?
I mean, the good doctor is absolutely correct. What they did was they took what was a political agenda of the Biden administration and they turned that into the truth and treated anything that was against the political agenda of the administration into a lie and silenced it and basically suppressed that information. And this is something that liberals and Democrats do all the time under the patina of expertise, misinformation experts, et cetera, they take their interests, their political agenda, and act like it is the truth. And the other side is both stupid, wrong, and evil. And I'll just make one more quick point, Liz. The way that Zuckerberg is acting like he was somehow the victim here, when what he was a victim of was his own cowardice. He could have said no to the Biden administration. He certainly said no to the Trump administration many, many times. We know that they had no problem saying no to the Trump administration. So I wouldn't believe any of this. I think it's all really a travesty.
Doctor, what do you think about what you just said? I mean, even to this day, people are still bullying other people who are questioning the safety of vaccines. You know, I personally know somebody who was never sick and got 2 blood clots immediately, had to be hospitalized after taking the vaccine. So when you see this, and there's still the fallout of that, you know, railroad track, that you couldn't question the side effects, you couldn't question masks. That's what Joe Rogan and Zuckerberg are talking about. We hear Batya loud and clear that Zuckerberg was part and parcel to censorship, that he's accused of going along with it. But, you know, it is worse than we realize. It keeps coming out, more information.
It is, because valuable scientific manuscripts, abstracts, commentaries on it about emerging vaccine injuries, disabilities, and sadly death were suppressed, including our novel ways of handling these problems. To this day, people feel completely burned by the Biden administration and by social media in general. And I think it's interesting now that Zuckerberg has made these statements and come out and taken these steps.
Yeah, so what the doctor just said, Batya, it would be great if Facebook's Zuckerberg just did a truth and reconciliation push to just put all the information out there, put all the emails out there, name names on who was doing this, Batya.
Yeah, they're not going to do that because, when you see somebody yelling at someone and saying, hey, we want you to suppress this, right? And the obvious thing to do is to say, actually, the American people have First Amendment rights, so we're not going to do that. Like, it'll be very embarrassing for them if this is all revealed. It's not like with Twitter where there was a new administration under Elon where he was saying, look, I can reveal all of the bad stuff that happened under the old regime. So I wouldn't expect much of that. But we have to understand, like, this is a billionaire trying to get close to power, trying to get close to Trump. This is part of the larger vibe shift of people who were in power, when they were close to the Biden administration, and now they want power back, and so they're cozying up to Trump. That's all this is. We have to recognize it.
And it's also the legacy of the Biden White House. They were known, to what Batya just said. It's also the legacy of Joe Biden. He's known in his White House, known to be bullying journalists, trying to stop journalists from covering his White House, threatening to cut them off from access to the White House, and more. So this is part and parcel of the whole context of how Joe Biden operated. Final word, Doctor.
Let's hope it's a brand new day under the second administration of Trump. America has seen enough of this authoritarianism. It's time to return to our inalienable rights and our complete assurance of our civil liberties that we all want to hold on to no matter what.
Okay, Dr. McCullough, Batya Ungar Sargon, that was a great conversation. Thanks for being with us.